Well, I'm going to be 40 this summer, and I've decided that I need to have a convertible.
You've got to make a big step here, a big statement. Is that it?
Well, I just want cute and fun. I'm sick of cost-effective and reliable.
What are you driving now,
Excellent.
Chris?
Oh, a piece of garbage. It's
Japanese.
a Isuzu Impulse that I absolutely hate.
Yeah.
Well, what the problem was is when I first bought it, 2 days later, I'm sitting there driving down the road, and the brakes are squealing every time I press on them. And so I take it back to them. They say, well, all right, and they put it in there for about 2 hours, and it comes out, and the brakes are fine. And about a month later, they start squeaking again, really ferociously. Now they squeak every time I press on them, and really loud, and it's pretty embarrassing.
I want to know what you guys think. If I should trade in my 88 Camry now, it has 50,000 miles on it, or should I keep it and run it into the ground?
Oh, we
What
love
a
it.
great question, Rennell.
Well, we have a 1988 Jeep Cherokee with the 4-liter 6, and for the past, I'd say 7 months, it's been sort of skipping. Just once in a while, you'll be driving under partial throttle, and the engine will lose power for an eighth of a second, and then it will go on. And we've taken it to the dealer, and the dealer in our area is very bad about these things, and he hasn't been able.
Bad about what things? Cars?
They're very difficult about these things.
Yeah, okay.
We took a differential to them, and the differential is making a terrible noise, and there's nothing wrong with it. And we talked them into taking it apart, and there weren't any bearings left.
Oh, they don't even want to do the work. They just
Yeah.
keep telling you there's nothing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Well, I have an 85 Nissan Sentra station wagon.
Mm-hmm.
It has 70,500-ish miles on it.
Mm.
And it's lived in San Francisco for the last 4.5 years.
Yeah.
And it is a 5-speed. And this person doesn't know when I can expect its clutch to die.
Well, I've got an 82 Mazda RX-7, and of course it makes a noise. Why would I call you, right?
That's right.
I have an interesting noise.
Yeah.
When you start off from a stop, or you're just going slowly and accelerating, all of a sudden there's a little clink.
Oh. Oh.
Are you all right?
Oh, my
What's
God.
the Heimlich maneuver? Quick, help! Get someone in here.
Are
your jockey shorts too tight?
I don't even wear them.
No, he wasn't talking to you.
Oh, I wasn't. I was talking to my brother.
Well, I'm having a problem with my 87 Ford Ranger. It's got a V6 in it, and when I first bought the truck, it had loads of power, and I'm having a couple of different problems with it, actually. The first one is a mechanical problem. I'm suffering a loss of power, especially at the low RPMs, and as you can imagine, it gets very hot here in Georgia, and driving home in the evenings when the weather is very, very hot, the valve lifters seem to be rattling quite badly.
Oh.
You want me to get into the electrical thing now or wait?
This is part one of 2 parts?
Right.
All right, give us the electrical problem. We
I'm
might
still
be better
trying to
at that
figure
one.
out.
Okay. Occasionally, the gas gauge hand, and the temperature gauge hand will go up by themselves for no reason at all. It'll, like if I'm driving down the road with half a tank of gas in there, the gas hand will move up to 3/4 of a tank, and the temperature gauge hand will move up to the hot range. And 5 or 10 minutes later, it'll go back like it's supposed to. It might do this 5 times in a day and then go a month without doing it.
Let's go back to the engine problem.
Yeah. Yeah. The noise you hear at 65 miles an hour, by the way, is pinging.
Yeah.
And what they perhaps did in an effort to fix this thing is they jacked up the timing beyond the specification, and that's why you hear the pinging. That's good. The valves are okay. The pinging is the reason it's making the noise, and the reason it has low power is that the injectors probably need to be replaced rather than cleaned.
Woohoo.
Okay?
Ooh.
Because the injector spray pattern is probably poor, and you most notice fuel deficiency when you're under extreme load, and you're under extreme load when you're trying to move the vehicle from a dead stop.
Right.
Okay, and that's when you notice it the most. As far as the other problem goes,
Oh, there's another problem? Oh, yeah, the gauges.
the gauges, somehow you're getting a voltage surge, and there may be a regulator that controls the voltage to the gauges, and that may be faulty.
Okay.
Or you may have a fault with the main voltage regulator, which is coming off the alternator, which is rectifying and rather adjusting that voltage. So you may want someone to do a complete electrical system checkout on this thing to make sure it isn't overcharging.
Right, the charging system.
Okay.
And if
Yeah.
that doesn't work, then go to the hardware store and get one of those signs, for sale by owner.
No radio.
See you, Dave.
Well, I have a 84 Jeep Wagoneer. It has 55,000 miles on it. It's an automatic, and it occasionally, when put in park, will start to roll in two-wheel drive. If it's in four-wheel drive and I put it in park, it never rolls. I've had it into the dealership, and they say they can't find anything wrong with it. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical about taking it to a transmission person before I know what I'm really dealing with.
Wait, this is an automatic transmission? You put it in park?
It's automatic. I put it in park, and sometimes it will roll and sometimes it won't. But it only happens in two-wheel drive and not four-wheel drive.
Well, how far will it roll?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, here's what's happening.
Okay.
Some of the time, the parking pole is not engaging the ratchet. Okay, so some of the time it's not, in fact, going into park, either because the linkage is worn out, and even though you think you've gotten it into park, you haven't. On those occasions, for whatever reason, if the handbrake has been set but really can't hold the car, it will roll very, very slowly with the handbrake, say, 90% on or 80% on. Yeah. If you didn't have the handbrake on at all, in 20 seconds it would be in your neighbor's kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
it would just roll right away because, in fact, park is a very binary thing. When it's in park, either it works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
And the reason you can't tell if it's working well at all is that you have the emergency brake on. I think you should go for the danger and just not use the emergency brake anymore.
Hello? Are you there?
Yeah,
Who are you?
I'm Philip from Appomattox, Virginia.
Hi, Phil.
Phil, what's up?
I've got a 1985 Chevy Astro van. And I've noticed, I bought it in February used, and I've noticed that when I'm going down the road and I'll get ready to turn, either left or right, or even keep straight, I start to apply the brakes and the steering wheel starts to shudder, and I can feel the vibration. It's like it's in the left front of the vehicle.
Yeah, it probably is.
You take your foot off the brake and the vibration goes away.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes, but then again, the harder I press, it goes away.
Yes, that's true, too, because
Right.
by pressing harder, you're damping the vibrations.
Okay.
So I know the rest of the story. You took it into the mechanic, and he checked it out, and he said there's nothing wrong with it.
Don't park in the sun anymore.
So what happens is when you're driving along and you apply gentle pressure to the brake pedal, every time the warp comes around, it's pushing on the brake pad, which is and that force that is getting pushed, that is getting exerted rather on the brake pad, is getting telegraphed through the hydraulic fluid back up to your foot. So that's why you feel the pedal coming up toward your chin. You know, it's coming up in pulses every time that high spot comes around.
And it's also making the vehicle feel like it's vibrating, which it is.
I mean, it's conceivable that you have a bad ball joint or something that's sympathetic.
They want the kingpin to fall out on me on the road or something.
No, they're not going to fall out. But I would suggest you take the discs off, take them to the machine shop. They'll machine them, and they'll tell you, oh, yeah, that one of them was warped. And then you'll buy new pads. You'll have to put new pads on. You don't have to, but it's advisable to.
Okay.
And you'll be all set.
Okay.
Easy, huh?
Yeah, real easy.
This is the only problem you have with this thing?
So far,
How do you like it?
I love it.
The problem is that about a month ago, I decided that it was time to buy a new car. And I previously owned an 87 Toyota Camry wagon with an automatic transmission, great car for carpooling. I could be the gymnastics driver, perfect car. But I decided that it was time to have an experience in driving, so I decided to buy a Mazda Miata.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Wait a minute. The gymnastics business, do you have kids?
Oh, yes, I have a 9-year-old daughter.
9-year-old daughter.
Yes.
Yeah. And a husband.
And a husband.
Got it. All right, I got the picture now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what happened was I discussed this with my husband, and he said, sure, you should get a sports car. It's what you really want. And I went through the whole process of finding a buyer for my Camry and working out all the financial arrangements. I even negotiated with the dealership for my Miata, which was a pretty trying experience
Yeah.
for a woman.